What's going on? You have people that are going to benefit from you letting shit slide. And again, this is a video topic that people are constantly hitting on. And I don't know, like I said, I believe it's a collective awakening. Like, so many of us are like realizing we've been putting up with manipulation and toxicity and disrespect and downright emotional and mental abuse from various people throughout our entire lives. And this is why, it typically the result, or I should say the backlash typically comes out in the romantic relationship. But if you examine where all of this typically is rooted from, it's typically your family. You know what I'm saying? It's typically your family, your parents, your parental figure, your grandparents, your guardian, siblings, cousins, uncles, aunts. It's your family. Okay? It really is, because those are your first instructors of life. They are the first examples you have of what love is and what love isn't. Those are the first examples of how you see adults behave with themselves and each other and with one another. Come on, me. For a lot of us, that's where it all starts. So if you're growing up in a household where there's a lot of fussing, yelling, screaming, people are being degraded, put down, made fun of, ridiculed, antagonized, okay, verbal assault, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. You know, you seeing folks growing up hitting each other, physically fighting. Somebody is getting beat. You seeing people constantly get cheated on. You seeing your mama be cheated on. You seeing your daddy be cheated on. You seeing people that are your, parental figures, the adults, the relationships that you are seeing engaging between the adults that are your first instructors of life. You're seeing them in all of this toxic, dysfunctional, abusive interaction. And that's your first introduction to relationships? Okay, then. Now you see why so many of us are in toxic relationships as adults. Because a lot of us, that's all we know, bro. Like, cis person, folks, that's all we know. For a lot of us, we didn't shed boundaries. What are those? Speaking up for yourself? Oh my God, really? That exists? Because how many of us were told we were back-talking the adults or disrespecting the adults by speaking up or showing disapproval to something that was happening or questioning what was happening? And then, like I said, later down the road, as you get older, as you age and you're an adult, now you probably find yourself in situations where you don't speak up for yourself. You either don't speak up for yourself, you don't advocate for yourself, you allow a lot of disrespect to take place, because when you did it, the first few times you did speak up as a child, you were told you were being disrespectful and you were talking back and all of this other mess. And don't get me wrong, are there situations where children are being rude, disrespectful? Yes. But every single time, no. And a lot of us would have benefited from being able to speak up as children. Instead of sitting up, getting whooped and disciplined for speaking up when we weren't being disrespectful, we weren't being mean or condescending or rude. And that really emotionally stunts people because, like I said, you end up in these toxic relationships, right? But here's the difference. Just because you started from it or you had a few toxic relationship experiences or you participated in toxic behaviors and toxic ideologies and thought processes, it doesn't mean you can't change. It doesn't mean you can't unlearn toxic shit, dysfunctional stuff. You can unlearn, you can make amends with yourself and with people you have wronged and done dirty, and you can learn to be a better person. And a lot of us have to do that work. And I think that with that collective consciousness is the fact that some of us have clearly done the work or are continuing to do the work.